Oh, this is actually a good map for Reavers.
Yeah, look at that. So there's a hole in the mineral patch where Bisu's mining right now. And so that's going to be the consistent down at the bottom left. And you can drop your Reaver and send a Scarab through the hole to try and eliminate some SCVs. Now, the advantage that Last has, and I don't know if you know this, is the quirk about Reavers is they have trouble firing successful Scarabs to the right, to the upper right, to be exact. So even if there is a Reaver drop and he has to send a Scarab through that mineral patch... Oh, is there no hole on the bottom left mineral patches?
There is no hole.
Oh, this is even better for Last. Okay, bam. Last has the best spawn position possible.
Right, but interesting enough though, Bisu's going to go for the forward gateway. This is actually very reminiscent of Jongbi going for that forward gateway as is natural with the pylon supporting on the lower ground. Going to get down those very early zealots. Try to go for some harassment here, knowing that because the ramps of the main bases are inverted, it's very easy to apply some pressure here.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen Bisu been victim to that pressure before on maps where you have the reverse ramp. So Terran, you know, Last may want to do his research and want to take advantage of it. I believe that Iris has a great game on Bisu where there's a reverse ramp and he just totally takes advantage of it.
Looks like the first zealot's already out for Bisu here. Last, meanwhile, getting his factory up and going. He's going to need to have a supply depot to help reinforce that wall at the bottom of the ramp here. Making sure that the little area between the barracks and the supply depot is going to be zealot tight. But
yeah, it does look like he has one supply depot coming up though. Oh, and the scouting marine here out the front is going to see where the probe is. And the zealot is going to go ahead and blitz towards that marine. Is he going to be able to hunt it down?
But look at this. Because of that supply depot positioning, it can be very easy for Last to micro around. Oh my goodness, actually, Last killed off that probe. That's going to be a huge bonus for him. Knowing that the zealot is going to be...
Yeah, but still, the zealot killing off an SCV first, getting a hit on the marine, and somehow staying alive. Its long Kenyan legs allowing it to run around this base.
You know, I would have to give the advantage to Last right now, because that zealot should be killed off pretty soon, but there comes the second zealot in right now, and Last needs to get a vulture out pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right. Vultures are a great way to deal with the early game zealots.
Alrighty.
Okay, the Marines are trying to camp behind these SCVs, but still really hard to you know, keep your Marines alive when you don't have a bunker.
But that's actually a very good trade-off for Last. Killing in a probe and two zealots so far for only a Marine and an SCV. I would take that trade any day, man.
That's right. And interestingly enough, Bisu is taking a second gateway before getting a Nexus.
I mean, I think he has to, though, knowing that Last had the potential to push it into it, knowing that because of that gateway being on the high ground, it's very easy for Terran to contain Protoss.
Yeah, and whoa, a fast starport here? I mean,
starport coming out from Last here. Is this going to be raids or?
It's gonna be drop play. It's such a roomy base for vultures to just get dropped into. I mean, I bet Last is salivating at the fact that he has a starport that Bisu doesn't know about, and if he can drop vultures in there, it'd be so perfect.
I mean, there's the control tower going on to the starport, so yes, you are right. It will be dropship play. So good range coming up now for Bisu here. Bisu's gonna have to contain this, or at least scout it out right off the bat.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so what Last will want to do now is maybe fake, you know, kind of feign an attack at the front, get kind of a weak siege positioning or soft contain. Oh,
Last is his own Marine?
How did how did that happen? I think everybody's a little confused by that. And Bisu going for a weird attack here, but he will be able to pick off at least one Marine here. The long range of the Dragoons are going to allow him to pick off those Marines pretty easily. And it still looks like Last is building up for that soft contain, or just at least you know, a fake threat. Meanwhile, that dropship is going to allow vultures to just kind of sail their way into the base. So this is looking like a fast GT build for Bisu.
Meanwhile, Last is already getting his own command center up and going, and the dropship is loaded with 2 vultures and tank in it.
Now, you know, because we talked about the Zhongbi games with the DTs, the difference is that Flash and Fantasy both didn't have vultures with mines out to deal with the DTs. and they didn't have anything else in worth of detection. But at least Last already building up the front with mines here. Okay, let's see how successful this drop is, XKCD.
There's no observers though, so as long as Last can play around these mines here, he's gonna have a good time here. L beat. Ooh, one Dragoon already going down.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good sacrifice, losing that Dragoon there. But, you know, he's got to clear out those mineral patches. Oh, wow. Already losing another Dragoon. And did he hit? Yeah, he lost shields and almost all his health on the Dragoons again. This was very un-Bisu-like when it comes to mine micro.
Right, I mean, Bisu playing very sloppy today with his micro here, but he's already getting the Temple Archive for the DTs. And I think Last saw the robotics facility coming up as well, so Last should know that Bisu can actually go for DT drops the follow-up here.
Yeah, the archives now is almost completed. The Nexus coming down really late. Both these players are going to have, you know, the later natural bases, though. So that's fine since it's not like Last has been mining from that natural base for a few minutes or anything.
No. Completely fine for both players here, though, but I do have to give the advantage to Last. Having that command center a little bit up faster than Bisu, but more importantly, though, he's going to have Vulture with mine. He's going to have tanks already out, and he hopefully already has scan once you get the Academy Bay, or at least some form of detection through turrets.
Yeah, and I think that drop was a huge success. When you think about the mining time that was lost, he pulled all his probes to keep them alive in that attack.
Right, here comes the shot already out for Bisu. He's going to be waiting for those DTs to pile up into it. But I really don't see these DTs doing that much work, unfortunately.
No, and what is Bisu going to do? Is he going to try and just send the shuttle down from the north? Or can he sneak the shuttle down to the bottom, you know, at the right side and come in the main instead of flying through the natural base? I think he'll give himself away too easily if he tries to go from any other angle.
Oh, the Academy is just about to be finished right now, so scans will not be out for a little bit longer. This actually might be quite problematic.
And XKCD, the Vultures were out on the map. They should have seen that shuttle right away. And look at that. One of the DTs pulling the mine, but still alive here. Oh, and he's actually attacking the Comsat stations. So that mine that I thought would eliminate the DT threat from the front is actually just victim to the DT going nuts here inside the mineral line. I think that Protoss know what to do on this map.
Oh.
Oh! Oh, the SCVs die! Can you believe that dieback on the mine? Absolutely incredible. And now the DT in the main still going to work, butchering this Terran base.
Did that DT die?
Yeah, the DT did get killed off right there. I think a scan went down.
Oh, he's still alive.
Oh my goodness! The micro here with the shuttle to keep it alive. And you know what? The Marines aren't there. A Wraith was forced out to deal with this drop. Oh goodness. So the scan finally does go down. The DT take it out here. And what? The shuttle's still alive? This Wraith has got to be really upset here. The scans have been burned. The scans have been burned, XKCD, and the DTs are attacking inside the main and the natural base. Last is in a lot of trouble.
This is one of the problems when you go for scans here, especially against DTs. If Bisu keeps persisting like this, I mean, Last is nothing to contain.
Yeah. Wow, this is incredible. And you know, because we had a person coming from StarCraft 2, it's not like Bisu can continually warp in the DTs with a warp prism. He stuck with the DTs that he had with his shuttle and the ones that had run down there to support this attack. But that's it. So he had to use perfect micro to be able to keep those alive and continue that harassment. But Last, he still has a pretty scary threat of vultures and tanks here.
And this is the thing though, like this is all Last has though. He already lost a scan when he lost that Comsat station burning down.
Yeah, I think this is going to be it. GG! Bisu takes a 2-0 lead.
Bisu already up 2-0. Fantastic DT control coming out from him.
Wow. What a game.
Last decided to stick with the Academy. To me, like, if you know that your opponent's going for the DTs, I feel like turrets are always going to be a safer option.
Yeah. Or, you know, at least get your Academy up a lot quicker.
That is definitely true, though.
Man, you know, that's the difference in these games and in the Zhongbi games. These players were just like 30 seconds away from having detection, and these timings were just perfect. So, I can't believe it. Last was in a great position. He actually had everything he needed. He had a great economy. Looked like he was slightly ahead in the game before those drops, too.
Right. But, I mean, I can't believe it, though. That was such an interesting game to look
What a game number 2. And, you know, this is the rubber match. The ace match is going to happen now. Or, I guess, the one for Bisu. Where if Bisu wins here, last will be eliminated. It's a best of 5. So only one more win, and he will advance into the round of 4.
I know. I mean, Bisu has a smooth cruising, though. All he has to do is make Justin lose, 3 straight games in a row. But Last's going to have the hardest time of his life now. Going to be playing Unfighting Spirit, I do believe.
Yeah, and you know what? Coming from Gladiator, which has a 65% win rate for, or 66 if you round up, win rate for Protoss players on Gladiator. Now go to match point. 46% win rate for Protoss. So Last, he's got his chance here. Terran have been playing really well on this map.
Right. But here's the thing, though. I still can't believe that Last decided to go for the Academy instead of going for the Engineering Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the way I did it, Last got a dropship into his main base. He sees that Bisu has a super early Citadel. So, it has to be DTs, right? At least DT drops. And so, if you have a turret up in both bases, you can be shooting down the shuttle. Or provide detection for your units to target down the DT.
Yeah, I thought Bisu's game plan was completely obvious. Last just kind of, hit a stump on that one, unfortunately.
And the thing though that if Last completely deflected that attack that Bisu dropped from Bisu, I mean he would have been completely ahead in that game.
Yeah.
You could see that he has a pretty high army count already, and Bisu's army is pretty low. No, Brandon Netter. In Brood War, if your DT one shot your, say your worker, there's no detection at all. You get no alerts.
Oh no.
It looks like are we gonna have a quick break here? Cause I really do need. Oh wow, no quick break at all.
Hey, call out the colors and then take your break if you need it.
No, I was gonna say I think Last needs a break. I don't know. I'm not sure if we need a break, but we are on match point. Wow.
That's right. Oh, and I actually got the map statistics backwards. I had the names on the wrong thing. So, and I was like, man, this sounds wrong as I was saying it. Protoss has a 54.8% win rate on match point. So, this is Protoss favored.
And of course, in the bottom left, as the blue Protoss with a 2-game advantage, we have Bisu.
Yeah.
In the top right, as the purple Terran having to have a 3-game comeback, it's going to be Last. Can he pull off an effort and win 3 games in a row?
Last playing purple again. Not a color that he wears well, unfortunately.
I mean, Blimar is making a good point, though. Yes, turrets and raids are a little bit overkill, but the thing, though, is that I don't think Last is going to be producing raids out that early once he saw the dropships. But who knows?
Yeah. So, match point is a map that has been fairly common, but really only got introduced into this map pool in 2013 for the SOSPA era. And a total of 248 games were played on this map in 27 different leagues, XKCD.
I mean, this is my favorite map of all time.
Yeah.
Besides Avalon. I think we need to put Avalon there at number 1. I know the thing, though, about that map is I wish that, Cuspa era wrote Avalon in there. Could have been hilarious to see professional games played on it.
Oh yes, to have the great minds. For people who don't know what the setup was like before, before Cuspa moved on, in these team houses, you had brilliant players like Boxer and Uv and Kingdom that were telling Bisu and Fantasy, hey, let's do this on this map. This would be insane. And then the players just execute it to perfection. It's kind of like Ender's Game, where, you have a brilliant mind who's kind of telling all these people who are really awesome at their specialties to do certain things, and just, them executing it.
But, of course, Bisu once again opening up with another 12 nexus. Meanwhile, Last is going to go for the factory expand here. And here's the question though. Because it is a 2-player map, and does Last want to pressure Bisu's nexus, the bunker rush?
And Into the Rain fan.
That brings back some memories. Bisu
Now, Into the Rain, did he play some StarCraft 2 games too? I can't remember if he played in like the early Wings of Liberty games.
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you wouldn't know. You purist.
And I'll let you on a little secret. I did actually play StarCraft 2 for Wings of Liberty.
Oh, nice. Of course, the game has drastically changed since then. Including starting with 12 workers. Can you imagine what Brood War would look like if you started with 12 workers?
Oh.
Losing that probe. The Marine doing a great job here.
Oh, that's huge, actually. You can now Bisu can't even tell if there's going to be a bunker rush coming in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's got to sniff it out. He's going to sense this. And now the bunker does come down. The Marine here is at the front. The probes, do they get pulled to take this SCV out? Yes, they're in good position here. And you know what? It's up to the AI of that SCV whether it survives or not. Because it's just going to glide constantly through that bunker here. Okay, it's going to get canceled. And the SCV will move away. But still, more SCVs are coming. Last coming with a really strong early game here. Wants to pressure this Nexus. We've seen this from Flash. We've seen this from Mind. A really aggressive bunker style.
Right, and to me, I think Last jumped the gate a little bit, but actually that bunker could actually finish. And the bunker finishes. Is it in range of the Nexus? Yes, it is.
You know, XKCD only has to ask if it's within range because the same thing happened with C versus Free, but it was just pixels away from the Nexus, and C ended up losing the game because he could not hit Free's Nexus. Watch that game. It was from the tiebreakers.
That was one of the biggest blunders of C's career there.
Oh man, it was a huge blunder. It's like on that one map where if you send all your SCVs but you don't babysit them and they go up the ramp to that that hidden natural. Do you know what base I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man. You really got to watch the AI on these StarCraft maps. You have to babysit your units to make sure they get to the location that you click to them on the minimap.
No, Blind Rob, we do not remember the game for casting because we're casting this one right now. There's going to be some mines in front of the bunker here, so I don't see Bisu being able to save this Nexus at all. There is no way this Nexus is going to be saved. So that's going to have a complete advantage here. The question, though, is what will Bisu's response be?
He's got to dive his, like, Zealot through very successfully or wait till Observer. And if Bisu's going to wait till Observer, then I think that he's going to probably go for some really heavy one-game base play. Or one-base gameplay.
To me, what I think Bisu's going to go, he has to go for Reavers at this point.
That's where the Robo is going to come in. Because you want your building to supply multiple purposes. So once he does get the Observer out, he will be able to clear off mines. But you know what? Maybe he should just go to Reavers first, now that he does have the Robo up.
Whoa, what is this, Bisu? Why is there an SCV at the 6 o'clock location? Oh, that's a Vulture, my bad.
Yeah, just a Vulture down there, dropping down a mine. Ooh, allowing him to, the mine's there to give basically a free scout if there is going to be shuttle play. So think about that. That's why mines are really good. And the fact that a Protoss player can't see where mines are laid out on the map means that they don't know if they've been detected or if their shuttle is actually hidden on the map.
But actually, did you see that micro that Bisu had there? That was some fantastic micro. Clearing out the mines, though, once the one's last abandoned that position there.
Yeah, that's the kind of micro that Bisu usually has. But he was like in a relaxed situation killing off those mines. So easily he took care of it. But more critical times, most Protoss players can't actually kill off those mines as efficiently.
Right. You know, both players are going to be going back to their normal macro plan here. Bisu going to be double expanding, taking that mineral-only third while getting his natural Nexus back up. But Last already securing his second base here.
Looks like Bisu's going to double expand here. Probably take the natural. Or, not the natural, the mineral only.
Right, that's going to be a little bit gutsy, but the thing to note is that Last can't really pressure it, so he should be just content with the fact that he's already up economically ahead. The question, though, is whether or not he wants to take a... Okay, so I guess we're going to have Last take an extremely fast third as well. He wants to be on equal bases here.
Oh, I am loving this from Last. He is playing balls out right now. He wants to take every advantage that he can. And look at this. He's actually pumping wraiths out of that starport.
Right. I think he's doing it to preemptively deflect any shuttle play that Bisu might be going for, even though we have yet to see a single shuttle come out.
Yeah. And, you know, it'd be kind of a waste if he just sat on, you know, pumping wraiths out. I think maybe just one wraith is going to be good enough. And then he could just save that starport for his science vessels later in the game.
That is true. Armory already coming up for last here. So you're going to get his upgrades up and going here. And there looks like going to be the dropship coming in as well pretty soon.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of tanks that are coming out here from the main base. And we've talked about this before. It's really hard. And we've talked about it in TVZ, where it's really hard to move your army back and forth as a Terran player to defend the natural and the main base. And so if drop play was successful for Bisu, you know, he's going to, Last would be forced to move his tanks, unsiege them, move him to the main, move him back to the natural, where Protoss can bounce back and forth with these drops. But now that the Wraith is out, it's going to help eliminate that stress.
That is true. Meanwhile, Last needs to make sure he defends his third here. Bisu looking a little bit trigger happy. Just taking the map control for now. Both players on 3 bases here, mining quite comfortably from it. Bisu adding more gateways, and there goes the Stargate as well. So we will see the Arbiters come out.
Yeah.
There can still be carriers though, but
carriers are good on this map. It's a map where they are fine to use. Got a lot of ledges, a lot of locations where they can be effective. And the fact that your third base is that mineral only means that it could supplement the interceptors. But it does look like it is going to be an Arbiter style game.
Right. Nothing wrong with that, especially when you've won 2 games already. So stick to what you know so far.
Exactly. His Arbiter play has been really good, and he's notoriously bad with carriers. So why risk it? If he did lose with carriers in this game and then lost the entire series, we'd go back to this moment and say it was probably because he decided to go carriers.
That is true.
Alright, so we've got, what, 6 gateways inside the main base, 3 bases up for Bisu. The Arbiter Tribunal is on its way. And look at this. Wow. Ambitious Last. This is where I start to think that Last just shot himself in the foot. The same way a Protoss player expands too fast without the army to support it. Last, he doesn't, if he tries to have a full mining bases at 4 different locations, it's going to be really hard for him to have the vultures and the tank count, you know, by the time he does have the 4th base up and running.
Here's the thing, though. I think Last is actually fine with this, knowing that because he actually shot down Bisu's Nexus early on, it's not like Bisu actually caught up that fast already. Bisu still needs a little bit more time to catch up, and Last is going to fortify that bottom side of the map quite heavily in the next couple of minutes, so that 4th base should be fine. And most importantly, Bisu has actually no idea about that 4th base. And
look at this, the Wraith out of position. This is a far delayed shuttle, so Last may have just fallen asleep on the threat of these Zealots getting in here. And the Zealots can go to work here, actually stopping the production on 2 different factories here. Going to be able to take out that SCV. Last, you saw that mines, that Vultures did come out of that factory, but actually did not attack the Zealots. They just ran away. There is a Wraith here and will be able to take out this shuttle, but still, a pretty decent drop for Bisu.
Oh,
man! Keeps it alive, 9 health, and a few shields on the shuttle here, as it is slowly just scraping away. This is just a red shuttle all day today.
No, Hyro Gambler, I am not cheating on the commentary exam. I am not cheating. That is disgraceful. You think I'm a cheater? I'm a professional. Nah, but of course, getting back into the game here, though. Now, this is the fun part about match point. When both players take that both their 4th bases and they secure it, you're gonna start to see a lot of both jockeying for position on the middle of the map here, or rather for the 2 big platforms outside each player's thirds.
No way, he's gonna try and get away with this shuttle again. Are you kidding me? Meanwhile, Bisu, he does have that 4th base, which is really integral to having a 3rd gas added on here. Last, he's got himself in a pretty good position. I like that he took the high ground. To put his stationary army here. Sometimes you see that a Terran player may put their tanks on the low ground to defend the natural a little bit better. but he can actually move over there if he needs to. But most importantly, he can cover the 3rd very easily and then move to the 4th or the natural. So Last, he's got his army in the best position possible for this game.
He does. But most importantly, though, Last was already looking to expand to a 5th base this fast. Whew.
Yeah. You know what? Last has a ton of mines. I don't know if you saw that minefield. Absolutely insane there. But the problem is, a lot of them are clumped up. They may end up just, like, you know, team killing themselves.
That's not really important, though. As long as Bisu wins the first, or rather, Last wins the first major engagement. But it looks like Bisu wants to go in already. Stop this 5th base from coming up.
Yeah, Bisu's going to have a hard time going up that ramp, though. It would be really bad for him to engage that without Arbiters. That's where the Arbiters need to go in and stasis the back line. But Last, he's doing exactly what Flash would do. Turn up like crazy. But the Zealots, they're going to run in here. They're getting on the front, getting melee damage off on the tanks. Their side blades just going crazy on this mech army. The Dragoons and the background still alive, still doing well. But the siege tank hits are going to be really strong here. If he gets hit a couple more times, may just end up losing the Dragoon army.
Right, Bisu needs to back off immediately. The Arbiter was simply way too late to supplement it. And I'm not even sure if Arbiters have any upgrades right now. We have yet to see stasis nor recall be used. I mean, recall would be a fantastic opportunity for Bisu right now.
Yeah, I like that Bisu is trying to poke and see some weaknesses, and did not fully engage with his Dragoons here. Oh, look at this. The Wraith just being deadly here. But know what? It doesn't chase down the Arbiter because Last, again, is slipping on that Wraith micro.
But Last doesn't really need to worry about the Arbiter right now. As long as he can keep track of where it is, he should be fine. The thing I'm more worried about Last, though, is that the stasis, really. He needs to make sure that his tanks don't get too clumped up.
Oh, now that Wraith does get eliminated, too. The Arbiter's still alive. Oh, the turret getting some volleys off on that Arbiter here.
Alright, looks like here comes the recall. Bisu really wants to commit to this.
I don't think he's going to get it. No, not lucky this time. There was not enough health on that Arbiter to survive that. Bisu should have pulled back. He should have known better. As soon as you see 3 or 4 turrets just bulked up, you know, you gotta just get some return on that Arbiter.
Right. But more importantly, though, Laxdor has controlled his high ground here. But Bisu looks like he wants to be circumvented completely. Going into the natural.
Yeah, this is a case where I said Last can easily just move his army up to the natural and the 3rd base to defend this low ground attack. The positioning is too tough. Bisu's Dragoons cannot get up that ramp efficiently, and all the Zealots are caught in the background. This is a blunder by Bisu. This is something that we'd expect to see him against mine do. Just an absolutely foolish move. He can't attack in there, so he needs to stay back and just work on economy and get upgrades.
Right, the upgrade is going to be the most important part here because a lot of the engagement that can take place is going to be advantageous for Last. And Last knows this. Looks like he wants to push across the map. Haven't seen Bisu made a blunder. We'll be able to win outright here.
This is the #1 reason why we see carriers over Arbiters, because Bisu can't break that wall. Basically, the entire vertical right side of the map is really hard to get into. Oh, Bisu gets the recall off! And he's inside the base, gonna try and take down those turrets to weaken that area up so he can recall in later again if he wants to. But Last, he's just like, it's like one of the bees got killed, and now the entire hive is just pissed off. He's gonna move his mech army out and just start to swarm Bisu with everything that he has.
Now, the completely bad decision by Bisu to go for the recall. Look at this. His army back home has actually nothing. Last gonna be able to push in here quite easily. Look at how many units Last still has available.
This is a move Terran right now. So bad for Bisu. There's no way he can hold this off. Even with that stasis, he just doesn't have the gateway army. Unless somehow he has a miracle 5 carriers sit in the background, which he does not. There's no way. Last is looking real strong right now.
Right, but problem is that Last already lost all of his vultures, so his tanks are actually going to be quite exposed here. I'm surprised that Last actually might have overextended too much.
Oh, yeah. Perfect opportunity here for Bisu to try and get a few more kills. Last, what is he doing? Not even sieging up a single tank. I think that's just lazy. Not hitting the O key. And finally, you know, Bisu is just fighting back here. Scraping his way into this game.
Right, you know, I think that Lash just simply, you know, sieged up on that high ground outside Bisu's third. It just reinforced it properly. It's been a little bit way better here, but here's the thing, though. Bisu doesn't really have much to work with.
No, he doesn't. And he only has gateways at the bottom half of the map, so he can only macro from the bottom left. And, you know, he doesn't have the opportunity to flank unless he can run his units around. Still, he does clean up that threat. He does have the high ground again. And he's going to lose this Nexus that he kind of threw down and got a lot of free minerals from, to be honest. You know, it went unpunished for a real long time. And that's more than Bisu could ever ask for here.
That is true. But Last looks like he wants to get his own 5th at the 6 o'clock base as well.
You know what Last isn't doing either? He's not scanning on those, you know, on the Arbiter cover. So, again, he lost those 3 tanks, and the tanks didn't really damage any of the army as they got taken out. Bisu's going to drop down the Nexus right away. He's got to have the minerals for it.
Here's the thing, though. Would you really want to scan just for those 3 tanks? Like, those 3 tanks kill the Nexus. That's more than what you could ask for.
Well, let's think. He has what, 4 Comsat stations, potentially? Plus,
right, but we
plus
saw
all the scans.
Game 1, though. Like, Last needed way more than 4 Comsat stations to keep up with the Arbiter count.
Yeah.
I think Last is playing a little bit conservative here, which is actually going to be working out in his favor. So, I mean, I'm quite perfectly fine with Last not using a scan for those 3 tanks.
Even that sneaky mine did take out one of those Dragoons here. So Bisu is able to repel that command center, push it back away from this bottom location.
It actually burned down. Is it going to burn down? Where's the repair?
Oh, there's no SCV. Oh, the SCV is just in time. The SCV is going to repair it. XKCD is keeping the command center alive. But you know what Bisu did? Bisu got his army out. Somehow he escaped from that 6 o'clock location before Last could just suffocate him inside that area.
Why is there a tank in the middle of the map?
The control is getting crazy for both these players. There's so much going on everywhere. It's got to be really taxing on their micro and macro. Oh, and an EMP coming down. The Arbiter are not able to get that recall. But as mentioned earlier, eliminating all those turrets would allow a later recall to happen. But Last, he just managed to rebuild an EMP perfectly to repel Bisu's second attempt.
Right, but here's the thing though. Last already mined out his main base, and I assume his natural is going to be mined out pretty soon, so he needs to take that 6 o'clock base sooner or later. Here comes another fresh Arbiter coming in, and
oh, it's getting close again. The Arbiter will end up going down here, but yes, he's got a lot in, and he found a weak spot inside this main base once again, and he can actually go off after production facilities. As we talked about earlier, can he take down a few of these factories?
But meanwhile, has Bisu overextended with the recall? Look at all the units in the middle of the map, and where is Bisu's army to deflect this?
Yeah, he can't engage with these Dragoons. He's got to keep them back. Bisu has to keep them alive and just continue to just stave off this attack from Last. A lot of units getting killed off here, so Last isn't reinforcing his army right away because of dealing with that recall. But still, it looks again like Last is just going to be too strong of a presence.
Oh, some pretty good Zealot bombs coming in right now. Last needs to target fire his tanks right now. Nice EMP onto the Arbiter. So there will be no stasis, but Bisu is going to actually clean this up.
How does Bisu continue to do it? It seems like every moment that Last has such a strong position that Bisu just comes in here and wipes the army clean and says, okay, let's break even once again. Now 3 Arbiters are out on the map here, and they can actually, you know, 4 Arbiters now. And even though each one of their little, you know, taser attacks doesn't do much damage, and 4s, you can actually start to, you know, make a dent in tanks.
Oh, Last being quite sloppy here, losing 1 tank while pushing into this 5th base here.
Yeah,
and
that was absolutely lazy. Oh, and
recall.
now Goliaths are out here. Do you see that? He recalls all his Arbiters in with his ground army. And this is just nuts. But Bisu, he doesn't have Arbiters to defend with now. I question this choice.
Here's the problem, though. Last doesn't have any army to defend his own production facilities. This is going to be a huge problem for Last.
Bisu is going to have to give up the 12 o'clock base, though. Another recall does go down, and a lot of Dragoons here. Last will lose the main, so he's going to have to start thinking about rebuilding factories at the bottom right location where his 4th base is.
I can't believe what's happening. Bisu just going to keep recalling and recalling to reinforce this attack, and Last has nothing to work with. He has no production facilities. He only has 2 factories now.
XKCD, Bisu has AT&T. He can recall all day.
He does. That was a great pun there, Bisu.
I had to throw one in for the cast. We're about an hour and a half into this, guys. Bisu, if he wins here, will advance to the round of 4. Can he do it? Last has to hold on. Lost all his production facilities. And what does he have on the map? It looks like maybe just spider mines everywhere. Another recall. Are you kidding?
I can't believe what's happening.
This is dirty, dirty play, XKCD. Guerrilla
really
warfare at its finest. And now look at this. Zealots just running their way down to one of last's most crucial, critical bases. And will he end up losing this command center?
I believe there's nothing there to protect it, and it's going to be GG.
GG! 3-0! The last Brood War match of this tournament for the year. Kim Tak-young will advance to the round of 4, and he's going to play either Sharp or Mind in his continuing rampage against Terran players.
I mean, that game made very little sense. We had to leave it up to other people to figure out what happened there, but Bisu pulling out ahead.
The power of the Dragon. Dragon Force going crazy here on last. Can you believe it? Guys, this is what the National Starleague is all about.
Of course, I mean, give good props to Lasto, making it all the way to the round of 8 and putting on a pretty good display here.
Yeah, he did a great job. But the thing is, you know, there was one matchup that he knew he had a weakness at. He ran into that weakness here against Protoss, and unfortunately, he could not overcome.
No. Whew.
Man, that's one of the best games that I have seen in a long time.
That is true.
As far as chaotic, you know, doesn't make any sense. How the hell did this happen go? That's one of them right here.
Right. Here's the thing, though. Like, we've seen a lot of good games so far, and I can't wait to see the rest of the round of 8 matches.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you think about Guemchi, who's just been dominating Terran players, and now he's got his shot to prove that he has PvZ against effort, nonetheless. It's going to be one of the hardest challenges of his pro gaming career.
Of course. Looks like we're going to have an interview here with Bisu, but unfortunately we do not have any Korean sounds.
No, guys, we won't be able to actually listen to the interview, but we can just make comments. That game, man.
Whew.
So, do you think that last, had he forgone that 4th base and decided to go on a 3-base push, could have won that game more easily?
No, the 4th base was fine. I think that was perfectly safe taking that 4th base. The problem was that every time last had a recall happen, he like completely went trigger happy and like pushed his army across the map, which I think is actually a good reaction, knowing that Bisu's going to have less army back at home. But Bisu's Michael just completely destroyed last. And every engagement where last had the better army, so to speak, he just didn't have the good positioning, or Bisu just out Michael him there. It seems like at the very least, I would say that every time last pushed, he overextended himself. What he should have done was get a good position with the initial good position there, reinforce slowly, and start leapfrogging in, because the reason that Bisu was able to keep recalling was the fact that last was just throw away his major army every time the recall happened.
Yeah, that's a perfect point. And you know, how did Bisu manage every time to just fortunately, you know, micro his units perfect into the strong army that last has? You know, a lot of it was the fact that last had to take the high ground to go between Bisu's 3rd and natural base. And it's a really hard location to take solidly. And if you have just the right amount of units, you want to engage the army as it's unsieged and pushing up that ramp so you can hit the Terran player at the best opportunity possible. And Bisu managed to do that every time.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, last just pulled the trigger too fast. You should have been leapfrogging his tanks across so Bisu wouldn't have a good engagement.
Yeah.
Because one of the best ways to deter against recall is to have a strong offense. As if the units that are being recalled are units that are not back at home to defend with.
So what do you think about the fact that Bisu just ignored turrets and pretty much got his recalls off successfully, except for that one time?
That's a good point. I think Bisu was, it takes a degree of confidence knowing that the turrets are not going to deflect you. You will get your recall in time. It also takes some experience as well, knowing like where the turrets are, how long it takes for the recall to happen.
Yeah. It just seems like, okay, he's got 5 turrets in one area, but if you hit the recall button perfectly, then you're going to have like a sliver of health if you get lucky.
Right.
Yeah. Alright, so Vant 36.5. That is the sponsor of this tournament, guys. This is the National Star League. Behind this, also Kongdu is helping support. And, let's all put in our best wishes for Sonic, who is going through some chaotic times right now.
Yep. So, of course, it's the first day of the round of 8. I do believe we have matches next Monday. It's going to be Sharp versus Mind.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I think this one's going to go the distance.
It will. It has to.
Mm-hmm.
It has to.
But Sharp, even though he's shown his Terran really well, will his nerves get the best of him? This is the highest ranking and biggest tournament that he's ever participated in. And Mind is an MSL winner.
That is true. He's also the KSL winner as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's got a big title under his belt and, 2 different eras, basically, which is quite incredible. So, I think that Mind's going to, be able to use that experience to his advantage. And what we've seen in the round of 4 and the finals from Mind in the KSL where he won is that he really reads his opponents well and comes off with these really aggressive strategies. And that's what he did against Zerg. But can he do the same thing against Terran? Can he pressure his opponent beyond what you normally do in a standard TVT?
Right. And here's the thing, though. I actually predict Sharp to win 3-2. I believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
I sincerely, wholeheartedly believe that Sharp will actually upset Mind. So we'll have to find out on Monday. Don't forget to tune in at the same time, guys. We will be here casting.
So XKCD, this is the last cast that we'll have of the year. And Hyrule Gambit says that we should declare the 2015 Player of the Year award. Do you have that on your list?
Yeah, why is it not me?
The Korean Pro Player of the Year award, clearly.
I'm a Korean Pro.
I saw you post that in LR Threat. You're a Counter-Strike player, damn it.
I'm a Brood War player.
Yeah. Well, my bias would give it to Bisu, but Bisu really hasn't earned a claim that I would give him. So
I would give it to Mind.
Honestly, I think it's between Mind and Hero or C. Those are the top 3.
I would prefer giving it to Hero over C, but
yeah. I mean, Hero's dominating performance over Bisu last August. It was just incredible. And, Mind beat Bisu, but he also did kind of a really cheap strategy. Or what did he do? 2 racks in one of the games? So I really don't count that one.
That is the gamble.
Mm-hmm. And then he got all his best matchups against weak players like Quanro in the finals. I think Hero definitely, to me, gets Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think that the thing though that's probably like the best run Quanro ever had, and it's just kind of funny how it transpired.
Yeah,
like so the last player you think of making it to any Starleague final, but somehow he pulled it off.
Yeah, and then he just dropped off the map after his loss.
That's unfortunate.
Well, guys, good luck. Have a good New Year's. Is it a New Year for anybody out there yet?
I think it's already New Year's in South Korea. So if you're in that time zone, Happy New Year's to you. If not, don't get too drunk tonight.
Yeah, I actually think they have a few more hours. I believe it's almost 7 p.m. in South Korea.
That's possible.
Yeah. So guys, thank you out there. Thank you for listening to this cast. It has been a pleasure. We're going to be coming back for the round of 8 on Monday. And take care, be safe, and long live Brood War.
So 2016 is going to be the year of Brood War.
2016, year of Brood War.
That is right.
All right. Take care, everyone.